Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Embodied Ascension channel. So, today I really wanted to dive in to the inner child because up until now, everything like the spiritual journey is an ever evolving process. And more than ever, I've been called back to the inner child. And I do think it's a core of all of our work here. The inner child is rooted in joy and the essence of who you are before you were conditioned by society is in the inner child, right? Joy, creativity, play, safety, um, and self expression. All of those things are about the inner child. So, when we go through this process of spiritual awakening or through our journey in life, the more and more that we are conditioned by society, our environment, our parents, we lose that essence. We lose the core essence of who we really are. And then you add on all the responsibilities in your life, right? Like not knowing who you are, and then on top of that, um, acting or doing and being in relationships that are not in alignment with who you are, and doing jobs and living a way of life that is really not anchored in the 5D or anchored in the truth and liberation and sovereignty of you can create these distortions in your reality. So when I was going through this spiritual journey, one of the first things I started with was mother and father wounds. And and that helped clear a lot of what I felt, what we call imbalance in masculine and feminine energy. So, masculine energy is supportive of those that are looking for more confidence in their life. Masculine energy is tied to self confidence, self esteem, um, discipline, like willpower, structure. It is also very connected to feeling secure, right? And when we don't have a healthy relationship with our masculine energy, or we have an imbalance with our masculine energy, you may find that you feel the opposite of those things. You may feel unsafe, insecure, having a hard time in your career path, confidence in charging for what you're worth, things like that, or asking, right? Like even asking for what you deserve, that can be really challenging without uh, healthy masculine energy. The feminine energy that we're leaning into is more of that creative, nurturing flow, the ability to receive, and the ability to feel secure in a different way. Like when you close your eyes and you tune into the masculine energy, like masculine security feels like having the proper structures in place in order to feel safe, right? It is like the foundations of your home. It is about structure. But the feminine energy of safety and nurturance is emotional safety, right? So the feminine energy is very emotional. Um, and not having balance in feminine energy can actually lead you to too much logic or too much overdoing, doing action versus being able to lean into your divine flow. But how does that tie in with the inner child? So I kind of went off on a tangent, but the inner child is programmed by mom and dad. So if you have conditioning from mom and conditioning from dad, it throws off the balance of your masculine and feminine energy. Hence why you may feel insecure, unsafe, and have self-limiting beliefs. Um, so when you work with the inner child to restore the balance of masculine, feminine, which is mother, father, you return to the original soul essence of who you are. And I've been leaning into a lot of the inner child because my personal journey through the spiritual path was starting with the inner child, doing some of the ancestral clearing, going into the multidimensional space and, collapsing and clearing other lifetimes. And then eventually having this like multidimensional awareness and awakening where I realized, oh, like I'm a star seed and I have other lifetimes. Um, but the core of everything comes back, right? It's like the circle. You go out into the universe and you claim these expansive identities and lifetimes that you've lived. And then it comes back around. And it came back around to, well, how do I integrate that into my current life? And I'm all about integrating and being present because we can be in these higher dimensions, but we also have to remember we have a physical body. So coming back down into the physical body, I realized, well, it's fantastic that I tapped into all of these higher frequencies, but my physical reality is still not reflecting the way that I want it to reflect. And I came to understand that I have more inner child work to do. I didn't do quite enough clearing, but this time was integrating something different. It was integrating self expression and creativity. And for me, I was like, well, what's my purpose? What do I want to create? Again, like we are all creators. So if you're blocked in your creativity, do the inner child work. It will reignite the creativity in your life. So, um, what happened is for me, I had to reclaim the play from the inner child, the fun, the imagination of the inner child in order to tap into my creative energy, in order to be the creator of my life and to create without um, these impacts or imprints of other people, right? Because up until this point, you know, not knowing who I am, not knowing what I want to create, I just have these little bits and pieces of who I think I am. And your soul always shines through in these little bits and pieces, but they're all scattered. And I really wanted coherence. And so to be able to come into coherence was to anchor in to the creativity of the inner child and doing more of that work. So I want to end this with a healing, a healing and integrative practice for you. So I want you to close your eyes and I want you to really connect to your inner child. And I just want you to notice the energy that your inner child is in. And I'm feeling that many of you, your inner children, feel unseen and unheard and neglected. And so in this moment, I would love for your adult self to ask your inner child, what would your inner child like? Right? And just receive what your inner child is telling you. And then I just want you to say to your inner child, I hear you And I see you. And I will give that to you. I will provide that to you, right? To really help make that your inner child feel heard, seen, and understood. You're telling your inner child that I will make sure that you're seen and heard, and I will provide all of the things that you would love to have. Just allow that journey to take you where it takes you. Beautiful. So you can stay in this energy for as long as you need it to. And those of you that are ready to come out, just allow yourself to gently come back into your body, and you can open your eyes when you're ready to do so. I hope that was very supportive for you, and I will see you in my other uh, episodes.